Go ahead, Greg.
So Jordan, just give us your overall assessment of defensive line play. Is it improving week to week? Never going to be what you totally want, but is it getting better, or is it, been good from day one?
Who were you asking overall, or was there a single?
Yeah, yes, overall D line play.
I mean, yeah, they're playing well. I mean, there's always things you could do better. There's a lot of things how people attack us that we've got to continue to improve on, which is what I call transition. And we get a lot of max protection, a lot of slide, a lot of play action, a lot of boots. Up to this point, not a lot of drop back. So when you're getting that, and that's how your people are protecting you, then you got to work some different things than your normal one-on-one pass rush or your normal pass rush drills, because it's really a totally different thing. So it's something that you got to continue to improve on, while at the same time not losing your basic pass rush fundamentals that you're going to work regardless.
Next question is from Cody Nesper.
Hey, Jared, I was just wondering, did you teach Darius how to make diving interceptions, or was that somebody else?
Coach Brown said it best. That's, at the end of the day, it's unbelievably athletic play. To get his hands under the ball and to be, parallel to the ground at 280 pounds, that in itself is all him and extremely impressive. But we, we made the point and continue to make the point, and that's when you chase the ball and we get 11 hats to the ball, good things will happen. And that's just a prime example. I can't remember the exact game that we were running up front, but I want to say Darius was actually moving away from that play. That was a sprint out play away from him, and he ends up recognizing what it is, coming back to it, and then when the ball goes up, he's chasing the ball and then makes the play, which is, that's what we're trying to that's what we're trying to make a habit, as far as 11 guys or 20, every guy on defense, all 22 if you're too deep or whatever it may be.
Go ahead, Greg.
So Jordan, your thoughts on Akeem Mesador, and you guys played him mainly at defensive end this past week. So your thoughts there? Why do you think he fits better there than when he was playing at D tackle?
I think it's a little less going on as far as recognition, which is where young guys usually struggle. You're trying to get them to recognize the blocks inside are just a little more complicated. And so that's a better fit for his skill set for what we're trying to do with him. Played well. Probably needs to play a little more in some different situations. But he's still learning. There's as good as from the outside looking in that he played. There's 10 to 15 more plays I can pick out that are things that down the road when people see will get him in a bad position, just fundamentally. And as that fundamental relates to our scheme of what you're not, some of the mistakes that he makes, whether it's footwork, whether it's hand placement, whether it's eye discipline, whatever it is, there's still things he has to improve on. But I mean, the thing that Akeem does is he understands that of all the mistakes and things he doesn't understand, and that the mistakes he makes is how hard he plays makes up for it. And he understands that if he's got that, he's got a chance.
Okay, John?
As a follow-up to that, is some of his production maybe related to people focusing on the Stills brothers a little bit, leaving him a little free? Can't double everybody, I guess. And then the second thing is their O-line is pretty big and had a pretty good game against you last year and has only given up 3 sacks. What do you see from them in that matchup?
I mean, yeah, Darius and Dante are going to get a lot of attention, but normally when you have one guy, they can give that guy attention. When you have 2, they obviously can't give both of them attention. And when you have 3, well, then they have to just do what they normally, protection-wise or blocking scheme-wise, what they normally do. Or they just have to pick who they want to double, which is going back to, I think, why we get a lot of the protections that we that we get particularly in early downs and, guys trying to take shots on us, catch us sleeping. So that's one reason why we're getting a lot of that is that you've got all three of them. And then, don't forget the game Jeff Pooler played. So, yes, some of that is Darius and Dante, but some of it is just kind of how people are having to protect us in what we do. What was the last part of that question? Texas. Oh, Texas. Yeah.
Their O-line size and not giving up sacks.
Yeah, I thought last year they did a tremendous job between the tackles with their inside run game, and I've watched that game probably 4 times up to this point, and they did a really nice job against us. They had a beat on us what we were trying to do. We misfit some things, but they did a really, really good job inside run-wise, and really they only ran about 3 plays, but they executed them extremely well and had a really good plan for us. And then they're, how big they are, and they're really strong, makes it that much more tough. So those are things that we've got to focus on this week.
Real quickly, their scheme too, quick passing helps them a lot with their pass protection and so forth. You get that?
The last part you said it was talking about their quick game.
Just scheme-wise, does that help them a lot with their quick game, with the way they do things offensively?
Oh yeah, it's the average. I would guess, I don't know, 2.3, 2.4 seconds. Ball's gone on average, and that's every pass they've had this season. So, that is what it is. It's literally like a run without handing it off. That's kind of what teams do in that situation. So it kind of neutralizes you up front. Now, it doesn't mean that your front, you don't try to do things to try to affect that, but it just kind of limits you as far as what you can do, and your focus is a little bit different. So you just, where it may not be in sacks or TFLs or whatever it may be, there's ways that you have to find to affect that style of passing game.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Jordan, what's up?
Hey, Mike, how you doing, bud?
Doing great, thanks, man. I wanted to ask about Bryce Brand. I believe he's eligible for this game, and I don't know what the plan is for him and also what he brings. And then if you can kind of compare, like for example, Sean Martin was out for his own separate reason, and he couldn't practice and participate. What's Brand's involvement been so far as like him being up to speed and when he could actually participate?
Bryce's initial issue was an issue with NCAA, and we've got that cleared up. So he is just now coming to where he can play. He brings a lot of like what Jared Bartlett. They're very similar as far as having a knack for playing on the ball and off the ball. We just got to continually try to get him in the game shape that these other guys have 4 games up on him to be able to play for the number of plays we'd like to. But for schematically, he kind of has a knack for what we like to do with that guy. So he's definitely going to be dependent upon at some point. Sean Martin, what you mentioned was the exact same with him. Now he had a good week last week, had a really good practice last night, and it's like I talk about with him is as big as he is, the thing that's got to catch up is his strength, and when it does, he's going to be. At some point this year, we're going to have to have him contribute with his skill set. He's just, just kind of unlucky last week with the last kickoff. He was slated to get the last drive of that game, and it didn't happen. So, which would have been valuable reps for him, but that's football.
Back over to you, Greg.
So Jordan, Neil said that Texas Tech runs as much tempo as anybody you guys will see in the conference. I'll give you a chance to contradict your boss if you want to do so. Is anybody faster? What does that do for you guys? We all sort of know, but facing something that goes that fast, how challenging is that?
It is what it is. I don't know the exact you can go through the play clock on video and see how fast. You know, the fastest is most of the time is a play every 8 seconds, and they're pretty close to that. That's about as fast as you can go. It just, you know, it neutralizes you, it simplifies you. You know, you can't have a lot of things that you're trying to call off of certain things, whether it's formations. You just have to have what you want to do with it, and you got to go with it, and you guys got to be able to think on the run. And you know, substitution's an issue, so you got to pick your spots there. So, you know, it's the toughest thing that you play against in football, because it neutralizes everything from scheme to talent, the whole thing. So it's hard.